Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for joining me once again. If you're just tuning in, wherever you're tuning in from, welcome to the show. If you're with the Wagwan, to me familiar, if you're tuning in from Canada, down south in the US, further down south, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, Austria, over there, the Austrian people. What else starts with A? Forget about it. Brazil, Botswana, Bangladesh. That's enough of that C's. But what about my Canadas? All right, cool. Cameroon over there in the Congo. D's, Denmark, my Danes. And that's all for today. The rest of you will get shouted out throughout the coming years. We'll get to everyone eventually, all 200 countries. 198, doesn't matter. The point is, welcome back. It's Wednesday, July the 23rd, 2025. We are doing it once again. It's a great day to be alive, I'll say that. It's like any other day to be alive. Beautiful weather out there, temperatures are wonderful. I hope you're knee deep in puss. Take your face out of her puss, all right? Take that cock out of your mouth. You got puss breath, you got that cock breath. Wipe yourself off. It's time for the show. Or keep going. You know what? Keep going. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. I encourage you to put your face back in her box, put that cock back in your mouth. As long as you're watching the show, it's all that matters. But really, you should be concentrating on the show. You're like, oh, I gotta make sure she gets off. No, you don't. You're like, I gotta make sure you finish this. No, he doesn't. A little bit of blue balls now. We'll have that, we'll have you much more appreciated once you do the swallow. So a little bit of blue balls goes a long way. Not every time, but a little bit does go a long way. Nonetheless, that's neither here or there. It is Wednesday. Let us have the funs. Let's get started up in this bitch. Oh, I'm excited. Get a sip of this bad boy right here. No particular direction, no particular order or any agendas or anything, but let's just start. Let's just get right into it. Swimming, it's that time of year. It's spring, it's summertime. You want to go swimming, and I get it. Who doesn't want to do a little bit of splish, splash, sploosh in the deep end? Start off in the shallow, but then go deep. A little bit of snorkeling action, yes, us. Drop a little bit of coinage on the bottom of the pool, see who can pick it up the fastest. Drop a little bit of, is that somebody's G-strings? Drop a G-string, have it sink to the bottom, see who can grab it first. Or, take a couple of laps around the old pool. That's what you want to do for exercise. You want to get them shoulders nice and buff. You want to get them leg actions going. You want to build that quad, do ya? Want to build that gluteus maximus aurelius, do ya? I'm here for it, but there are issues that we do need to discuss, of course, when it comes to swimming, and I'm specifically talking about the breaststroke, all right? A lot of people talk about different strokes for different folks, and different people get in the pool, and you want to be doing a little bit of breaststroke, all right? I get it. I'm with you. But I've been listening, putting my ear to the ground, listening to what the people are asking for, what the people are murmuring about, what the rumors are all about. And people have had enough, all right? Because there's the concept of a breaststroke, and everybody's like, you should learn how to breaststroke. The best place to do it is in the swimming pool, and then take it to the ocean, take it to the sea, take it to the river, wherever you like. Body of water, it doesn't matter, even a little puddle, do a little bit of breaststroke. But when you begin in the swimming pool, and all of a sudden you realize you go into the pool and there's half the population, those with breasts and those without breast assists, the haves and the old have-nots. And there you are without a breast, and all you've been told all your life, you're supposed to get in that water and do a couple of breaststrokes. Stroke that breast assist. So you just put your Speedo on, all right? You just put your swimming trunks on. You got your little swimming goggles on. You got yourself some webbed feet. You got yourself some, you are just, you've made sure that cut on your toe is wrapped up nice and neatly with a little Band-Aid that's gonna, fly off in about half an hour and just go into somebody's mouth. But the point is, you see yourself without a breast, but you do see other people with breast assists, and all you want to do is just go out there and just stroke a breast, and you do that, splish splash, you stroke a breast in the old swimming pool, and all of a sudden you got folks freaking out. Why is this guy or this gal stroking the breast assist? And it's like, hey man, them's the rules. We didn't make it. These things were here before mankind. It's the law of nature is how it goes, all right? So you're just stroking breast and people are starting to lose their shit. They're like, oh man, this fella or lady is just stroking these breastises. Where else are you supposed to stroke the breasts, ladies and gentlemen? There's no other public place where you can go and stroke a breast except the swimming pools, once again. And again, there's the sea and the ocean, but that doesn't matter. It starts locally. So at the swimming pool, I just wanted to raise a little bit of awareness. If this is a PSA, if it's just people with heavy hearts, people who are maybe perhaps suffering in silence, people who are thinking to themselves, oh no, am I the only one? No, you're not the only one, fella, lady. I just want to let you know that it is pool culture. We either do it or we don't. We either do it or we don't. All right, let's just make some. So if we say breaststroke and you want to stroke some breasts in the swimming pool, I see no reason as to why people should be losing their shit, as to why people should be overreacting. Oh, these are my breasts. Bring your own breastises to the pool and stroke them. It's like, not everybody has that privilege to have breastises. All right. So I just want to say, everybody just keep calm, carry on, stroke them breast. And yeah, initially it's going to take us a little bit of time. Yeah, it is 2025. It is 2025. I know it's 2025. Exactly. We should be well beyond this. All right. They always said a sharing is caring. A community is only as strong as its strongest tit. So if there's selfish people out there who are saying, no, these breasts are going to be only a stroke by one person and one person only, I say, nay, I don't think so. That's not how it works. That's not how, if I had a tit, I'd let you stroke it. And again, I don't know what it's going to take. Perhaps word of mouth, perhaps individuals starting to chit chat with their family members, with their friends. Perhaps the next time you go to a body of water, whether it's the swimming pool, whether it's the lake, whether it's the ocean, whether it's just a river and you want to go skinny dipping, remind yourself and others what we're dealing with. Again, that's half the population who's not equipped with breast assists. So how are we supposed to go out there and stroke the breasts? I leave that to the audience, of course. Be the judge for yourself. And I personally think it's time we move on. I personally think it's high time we got together and stroked breast assists together, hand in hand, tit in hand. All right, so we all learn. Thank you for joining me once again. It is Wednesday. I'm not happy about this one. I'll say that I'm not happy. I've been because I'll eat it. It's not that, I'll eat variations of it when avails. But one of my go-tos, one of my favorite dishes, of course, you got the spaghettis, you got the pastas, you got the pizzas, yes, of course. You got the lasagnas, I'm talking yes. Lasagna, one of my favorite dishes, and I get it. It makes sense. What's not to love? What's not to love? Thank you very much. It is a delicious meal, but we do have to figure this one out together. I'm sick and tired of this shit. We need to fix it. We need to fix it instead of going, because we oftentimes go back and we need to fix this from our history. We need to fix that. Some things need to be left alone. Some things do need to be fixed. Some things do need to be acknowledged. And I think I'm not the only one when I say this. Who spelled lasagna the way it's spelled? Who spelled it this way? How did this start? All right, lasagna. Who started this shit? Why have we as a populace, why have we kept it going? When are we going to put a stop to it and say, hey, this shit doesn't make sense here. Tastes great, but the spelling of it, and I'm not a great speller. You've known from the get-go. I'll let you, I'm not a great speller. All right, I'll get most of the words probably right, but who knows? Not the best speller. So it's not about that. It's just a weird spelt word. It's Lasagne and pronounced lasagna. Lasagne, pronounced lasagna. What's with the GNE? Lasagny. That's the, if it's, what do we talk? It's either lasagna, lasagna. That That's what we're supposed to just read it and just skim over it. That's how the truth gets muddied in the water, man. That's how they tell you it's one thing, but you know deep down inside it's another thing, but you just want to pretend everything is all right. I'm going to go and taste this and swallow it and say, yum, yum, thank you for the lasagna, even though you know it's lasagna. We need to change this shit. We need to change it immediately. It should be, I'm starting a petition, ladies and gentlemen, and I know I'm not the only one. You know, I said it from the get-go. We're going to take the issues that are important to people, things that really matter, and push them forward, kick them forward down the field, one step at a time. Lasagna. It doesn't make sense. It should have been Lasanya. Lasagna. Lasanya. Lasagna. Lasagna should have been. The G and it just doesn't make sense. I can't figure it out. Whoever did it, I do have my suspicions. I'm not gonna, and it's completely fine. First of all, I do want to make sure that, just want to clarify, I get it. It comes from a place of love. Just comes from a place of love. I believe the origins, I've not looked into it, but I'm gonna just go out on what feels right inside me. I think lasagna was probably spelled by, it's probably a black father naming his daughter. I'm pretty sure it sounds like a young black female's name. It does sound like it, but then you're like, it's an Italian dish. And I get that. Therefore, I can only deduce, using my deducing technique of deduction, of deducibles, of the deduce. Let's deduce together, shall we? Definitely sounds like a black female's name. And you're like, that definitely came from a loving father who named her daughter Lasagna. You know it sounds right. Call out lasagna. You'll see what happens. But then you're like, it's an Italian dish. And I'll deduce it with you. If you are, maybe you jumped the gun. Maybe you already guessed it. You're like, it was an Afro-Italian man naming his daughter Lasagna. And that's how the name started. Lasagna. That was her favorite dish, named after her, created by her Afro-Italian father. I rest my case. Let the grand jury sit on that one. Can we take a break? Should we go for a recess? Should we play a little laser tag? One more out there doing the recess. Court is adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. Court is back in session. I'd like to conclude by saying lasagna has been just devastating communities by the way it's spelled. Not a lot of people are great spellers, and I'm speaking again, but I'll speak for I'm not a great speller. It just throws your boy off. Because I'll see it every once in a while on the packaging of my pre-made lasagna, which I like to pop in the old oven, microwave oven. And then I see the spelling Lasgne, lasagne, or let's just call it lasagne, whatever, either or lasagne or lasagne, we'll go with that one, but I'm not gonna continue calling it lasagna when it's spelled Lasagne. Either change it over Lasanya where it makes sense, or let's just call it lasagne. All right, I've had enough of this shit. I know you're sick and tired of it too. So today is perhaps the day that starts. Today is probably the day that change will take place. And you're like, I'm not gonna notice it. It's gonna take some time, friendo. It's gonna take some time there, bucko. It's gonna take some time there, champ. We'll get there. Yeah, you're like, but what's one person? Yeah, well, what's one person plus another person? It's like two people. And you add another person to that, it's like three people. That's 3 times the people. And you multiply that by any number, and you might accept 1. You'll double it at least. So there you have it, folks. It starts with controlling the narrative, and us taking a little bit of just reeling into shit sometimes. Lasagne or lasagna. I'll let you decide. Court is dismissed. Let's call gavel time. Gavel time. What else is going on in and around the world? Deborah Mason warms my heart. This story, I've read it. It's bittersweet. It's bitter. It's bitter. It's sweet. It's real. It hits right here, right there, in the depths of the rectum, right there, in your solar plex, right there. in your G-spot, it does just knock, knock, who's there? The Deborah Mason story, dubbed Queen Bee, dubbed Granny Gangster or Gangster Granny, whichever way you like, a 65-year-old British woman, beautiful lady, who was running a multi-million-dollar cocaine business and recruiting family members and or friends and using females to some of her family members were females, friends, and some of them had babies, and they were basically it was a family-run business, and it was a multi-million-dollar drug trafficking business. And I believe she got caught. She's sentenced to I don't know how many years or whatever. Maybe it's just begun. Maybe her sentencing has just begun. But none. It just because here's the thing. What did I like about this story? I don't like the fact that especially with everything that's going on. I just like everybody to be treated. Give everybody the same opportunities. Treat everybody with the same level of either leniency, forgiveness, charitable view, however you want to call it, or privilege. How everybody should have at least the same chances. And that's where just this stories like this is not the only type of story that you'll hear. This is not the type of story that you're like, this is just a once in a, this only happens once in a, first of all, it's not just a once in a, blue moon occurrence. It's a 65-year-old beautiful woman who's taking the charge, taking lead, orchestrating a little mini drug cartel. Not so many, they're multi-million-dollar drug business, which is nice. But it's easy to pinpoint and be like, oh, bad apple of society. Oh, what a bad bill. Don't you get a real job, Graham? She's 65, all right? She's got family, she's got friends, she's got people she's got to rely on. But that's the thing. She doesn't have the proper licensing. She doesn't have the proper, jurisdiction. She doesn't have the proper fundage initially to start her own pharmaceutical companies and sell, preferred drugs, legal drugs. All right, so she gives to the people what the people want. I'm not advocating the usage of cocaine. I myself have never used cocaine. I'm not a fan of it. Not my cup of tea. Never done it. Not interested. I've already got enough. Got enough kick in my step. I don't need more extras. Oh. But what your boy does need is a little bit of just because I get it. You're like, oh yes, grandma who's dealing cocaine, send her to jail. Let's take a moment and step back for a second, all right? First, as a grandma, because this is not, I like this story because she's breaking the mold. She's breaking the mold. You don't expect that from a grandma. Because I see grandmas all day, every day in the streets. And my heart melts because I've got a grandma. I've got a mother. I get it. And my heart goes out because I'm like, she's broken the mold. You don't expect a 65-year-old woman to be a queen pin, if you will. And that's beautiful. Yeah, I get it. It's a murky world we live in. It's a messy, complex world we live in. But that's the thing. You keep it illegal. You keep substances illegal. You keep certain things illegal. And that's how you end up with the black market. There's no getting rid of it. I'm not advocating for it. I'm not for it. But I do see people on a daily basis using it. And it's a growing trade. Cocaine business is booming. Cocaine business is a booming. It's not going anywhere. All right? I'm not, again, advocating for it. I'm just saying it sucks because all you see is people essentially wanting to make a living. All right? She wants to be a baller. Why doesn't she get to be a baller? Why is it that only people with certain backgrounds, certain privileges, certain whatever you want to call it, you have to write paper forms, you have to write paperwork, you have to write, certificate. I get it. Makes sense, but at the same time, I do see it from her perspective as well. I do see it from people like hers, that are just trying to provide for their family and community, their little community. I get it. Yes, is it illegal? Absolutely. Don't do it. But do I get it when people do it? Yes. Do I like the fact that she's going out there and saying, you know what, I'm not going to be put in a box for this, granny? No. Well, did she go? She's going to be put in a box, ironically. But nonetheless, while she was doing it, she was stepping out of the box and saying, just despite the fact that I'm 65 years old, despite the fact that I'm a woman and this is not a field that's predominantly dominated by females, I'm going to get in there and make a multi-million-dollar business slanging a rock. Am I for it? No. Is it still going to remain out there, whether you want to label it legal or illegal? Absolutely, 100%. So that was just something that I saw was a little bit like, again, it's not the most, it's not your tradition, it's not your trad, feel-good story, but it is like, could be low-key a movie. Sure, there's movies already similar to it out there, but it's again the person that's breaking the mold. I like that. I like it a lot. So shout out to Deborah Mason 65 hashtag free Deborah Mason. That's just how I feel about it. It's just feels no facts, feels loose facts, feels facts. We say loose because a little bit of the riggage, a little bit of the old hey, a little bit of the old, you know. I don't even know what we're talking about. I did like that story though. It just like I just picture a grandma and and a whole Adidas tracksuit wearing some Adidas shoes, wearing some wearing some chains. Maybe she got some grills. I don't know, but I like it and I feel like I want to share it with you. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag free Deborah Mason, 65 years old. What a G. What else is going on in and around the world? Thank you for asking. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. What am I talking about? I am talking about China. And China is going to be building the world's largest hydropowered dam out there. And it's, and say what you will about dams. I personally like them. Because there's water out there. 75%, 80% of the earth, they say, is water. 75%, 80% of you is water. 75%, 70%, it's just a lot of water. You're wet and I'm wet. And then sometimes you just want to be like, let's just put a little stoppage to this water over here. Maybe redirect it over there. I'm not so much a fan of it. I don't know, to be honest. It's an issue it's multifaceted. Some people are for it, some people are against it. I personally am for construction, and we'll get to why I'm for construction. But just the concept of holding back water, it's a little bit impressive because there's nature doing its thing with all its mass, with all its might, with all its majesty. It is pushing through rocks, it is pushing through barriers, it is creating ways in which you can travel here and there, and that's nature saying, here, I'm gonna drop a couple of droplets of water and just create a river. Why don't you go down this little bad boy right here? That's that river right there. I'm gonna create a little lake right here. I'm gonna create the ocean. That's nature doing it. And then man, it's not just generic man, as in man, women, mankind stepped in there and said, you know what, enough of this. I'm gonna build a wall. I'm gonna build a wall so high. I'm gonna restrict the water from moving, or I'm going to redirect it. That concept I like. That's the concept of the dam that I like. It's human ingenuity. Saying, you know what, yes, nature is rough and tough. You can say that. Some people dare say that. But we too have our ways of maneuvering around nature. And it's nice. It's a little bit of that, coexistence. A little bit of that, thank you for the blessings, the mama nature, but also we need it a little bit to the left. We need to, it's like putting braces on nature. It's like giving your nature, it's like breaking your nature's knees and then recasting it so that it's, built in the proper direction, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. The point is, ladies and gents, that China is building the world's largest dam, and I just read about that. There is, of course, a few people who are concerned, or a few actors or characters in this story who are concerned. I believe Bangladesh, India, and Tibet are a little bit concerned because they're wondering if China is going to be using the water to kind of, use it as a force of dominance, or use it as a, because you could either turn on the water, turn off the water, redirect the water in a particular direction, or, to just, block it all for yourself, or whatever that may be. But those are the issues that I'm sure these governments are going to get together and figure out, because water is for everyone. But I do like the concept of dams. That's why I do like construction. Because construction is, in all of us, we're constructing on a daily basis. If you're here, you've been constructed. If you are here, you've been constructing. There's no way you don't construct. You're building things, you're creating things, you're consuming things on a daily basis. We're all, in a sense, construction workers, which is nice. So I do like that production factor of it. I do like us building things as a global species. I am a little bit ticked off because as of late, it's amongst the world's largest, construction projects. You got the dam in China, you got the Burj Khalifa in Khalifaville. It's big construction projects. I see it. I get excited, but at the same rate, I'm a little bit like, hey. We too here in Toronto, here in Canada, we had the world's tallest building at one point or not too long ago, and then people started to build bigger skyscrapers, which kind of just made our giant skyscraper, which is still fantastic, and people still line up to see it and go up and just do the whole spinneroo. It's nice phallic shape. It's a nice classic phallic shaped, beautiful building. And it was the tallest, was the biggest phallic shaped building in the world for a long time. And then all of a sudden, everybody else started building large phallic shaped building. What people started prior, so it wasn't, we weren't the first to build the first phallic shaped building, but nonetheless, people have built large buildings. That's kind of where I'm getting at. I'm like, oh, Canada, the U.S., North America as a team, we need to get on top of this shit. We need to come up, because yeah, that's fine. I get it. It's a little bit of friendly competition. I'm for it. China's building the biggest dam. We need a project to build something big. Let's just spitball ideas out there. Let's build a pyramid. Let's build a giant ass pyramid. That was once a weirdly shaped, phallic shaped. You know, it wasn't so, you know, in your face the way it's, but it's still, you know, still kind of phallic shaped. It's pointy at the tip. It's pointy at the cack. It's pointy at the tip of the odd cack, if you will. But who knows what that was built for? Still trying to figure that one out for thousands of years. They just found. Side note, but also I don't care. We'll skirt anywhere we want, dude. It's our turf right here, son. They just found they keep doing the scans near the old pyramids in Egypt. They just found an L-shaped little, you know, area underground with the lidars and the scans that they do, and they're like, oh, where does this lead to? And nobody knows, and they think it leads to a tomb, maybe even deeper underground. There's all sorts of speculation about the spiral structures underneath, going miles deep into the ground. Who knows? But that was built way back in the day. Why did they build it? I don't know. There's different opinions, theories. Some say it was a power energy plant. I've heard that one. I've read that one. Others do. You know, I don't know about this one. I don't know, but I've said this before. I read it somewhere, and they were really fascinated about the afterlife. The Egyptians, the ancient, I'm not Egyptian or anything, but I think that's one of the things that they're known for at the time being, they were really into the afterlife and passing people forward and backwards and just, you know, playing with souls and shit. I did read at one point that it was actually built to facilitate the bringing back of certain souls, or, you know, and that was kind of linked to the old mummification of the pharaohs, or like high-ranking folk, because the mummification allegedly makes it easier for you to bring back souls. The body retracts easier, and that, I believe it was, I don't know how they've done it. I don't know if it was done or not. That's just what I heard. All right, that'd be pretty fucking cool. Be pretty fucking cool to bring back the same. So it's one thing to bring back the same person, physically speaking. We do have the tools today to kind of do that. We can clone people. We can definitely do it. Low key, high key, whatever you want to do. We can clone animals. We can clone people. Let's just put it out on the table. But getting the soul back, that's a whole other shit. And who knows what they were doing. But that's allegedly one of the reasons. If it was, maybe it was a power plant, or maybe it was a soul retracting power plant. I don't know. Or maybe that's way off. Who knows? The point is, people build giant buildings. That's what we're talking about. And I want us to build a giant building. All right, Canada, US, we should get together, or just, because I do see us as one. All right, if it's built in the US, I'll claim it as ours. If it's built here, you can claim it as yours. It doesn't matter. North America, we need to build buildings, large ones, phallic shaped, preferably thick at the bottom, girthy all the way through the midsection, heavy up top, just thick and large. You know what I'm talking about. Just a big black building, or color it any color you like, pink, purple, red, I don't care. But we need to build, because it's a matter of, you know, let's go higher. Let's go higher, because yeah, the Middle East are popping up. You know, they built a horizontal building, the one project or whatever, then Saudi Arabia, or they're building it, the largest, you know, dystopian city in human history. Who knows how it's going to turn out, but let's build something together. Because we had the CN Tower, it was girthy, it's big, it's still big. We sort of kind of need another one, ladies and gents. And I just want to bring that to your attention, because I do see all this innovation going on all around the world, and we can't let it slip, son. We cannot let it slip. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, what have we been talking about? I'll say this, I'm a little bit sick and tired of doctors always just, you know, you go to the doctor, they say open up your mouth and say and you might stick your tongue out, and they might take a little popsicle stick and stick it on your tongue and just kind of press down and say ah. And I'm sick and tired of this, what are they trying to achieve really? And I asked myself, I'm like, what are doctors trying to achieve? With all this, it's low key, they want to see your gag reflex. That's what I've deduced. If we're deducing today, let us deuce. They're trying to test your gag reflex. And I've had enough. Whether it's male or female, they're all perverts. If you're testing it and not putting it to use, what are we even doing here? All right. Male doctors, I don't want to, you should do it to, I'll say this, whenever it's a male doctor, I'm happy, I'm glad that that's the end of that, that's the extent that it goes, all right? But when it is a female doctor and they are testing to see your gag reflex, afterwards, I'd appreciate it if we were to just, it's been some time I've been alive and going to doctors, and that's as far as it goes. Do you want to see the gag reflex? Fair enough, I'll show it to you, but afterwards, do pop a tit in my mouth also, because what are we doing here? Again, you're just giving me, a blue throat I believe that's the scientific term, blue throat. Anytime a male or female tests your gag reflex, but doesn't actually do anything further than that, it's just a test. And people walk away upset. Yeah, you're like, oh, I went there for whatever, just to check over, and then she gave me the old gag reflex test, and I guess I passed because, she's not wanting to see me for some time, but she did say and come and see me once in a while. And the point is, I'm tired of these male and female doctors just giving you gag reflex. Next, if you're a male doctor and you got, people who are cool with it, male or female, it doesn't matter. If you're going to do the old popsicle stick on the tongue, pressing it down, and say people say ow or say cheese, put your cock in their mouth. That's, you know what I mean? Because what else is, why are we doing that? Or put a couple of fingers at least in people's, just so that because that's the thing, it's in and out. They don't want to they just want to make the sounds and pretend like they're doing the steps, man. Nobody actually wants to put in the time and spend time with you. It's too fast paced, and I get it. Probably not enough doctors, too many patients. It makes sense. In and out, revolving door. Don't have enough time to put my cock in your mouth. You'll say that as a doctor. I've spent too much time and money on my PhD, and I'm not willing to. It's like, hey, we all got bills, all right, doc. I'm not speaking for myself, but I know there are people out there, and female doctors likewise. Put a couple of fingers down a man's throat, will ya? Got 2 tits, use them. What about an elbow deep in someone's throat, just a little, just so you get your kicks from the old popsicle stick? That's how they train you in there, do they? That's how they train you in the old pre-med, isn't it? That's 4 years of just make them think about shit, give them an idea, but then leave them hanging. So that's how you get them to come back, do you? Is that how you play your dirty little tricks? I'd like science to move forward. I'm just saying there's good doctors, and there are doctors who are willing to give their patients what's needed, but there's also doctors who are withholding because of, it comes down to, is it a money thing? You want me to throw money at you so you stick 2 tits down my throat? Is that what it comes down to? Is this all about money? God. Ladies and gents, I hope things change. I believe we definitely can make things change together. One of the good things about getting out early in the morning, I love getting out early in the morning, man. I'm an early bird, if you will. I'm an early, not a regular bird either. I'm an early eagle, baby. Just caw, spreading those wings. Caw. Spreading eagle, spread eagle, baby. Caw. And I like getting up early because you get to see things. When just around, early, I'm talking early in the morning. Could always go, even earlier than that. But there's a certain period of time where, between 4, 5, 6 in the morning, if you get out, you see beautiful stuff in the streets. You see if it's rained the prior night, you might see a couple of worms out on the sidewalks. You might see a couple of early birds just nipping at them worms. You might see a little snail just leaving a little trail with its little vagina on the ground. It's slimy, it's nice. Kind of a low-key nature throwing out there some booty, just saying, hey, let this be a representation of what's out there, what's possible. And you're like, yes, Mother Nature, I see that. little booty on that little snail, and thank you. It is wet. And you might see other stuff too, isn't there? Because there's certain types of people that are out early in the morning. There's, there's the go-getters. There's the people with jobs and responsibilities, which is a lot of us. And then there's also other people out there who are also just different types of jobs. Because that's certain types of individuals do come out early, or have been out late and are probably getting back to, some people are night people. They're night shift people. Some people are just all day long people, and we'll get to those. So there's two types of people that particularly, it's the visual, and they exist in every city. I'm talking about prostitutes. Because you see them early, and you see a couple of them. You see a few of them downtown. Early, and just the imagery of it. There's something that, because I believe it's universal. You see this in every city. And you know it. And I'm not saying this with any sort of judgment. I find myself actually very close to these people. We're out around the same time. We're out in the same streets. Not doing the same thing. More or less the same thing though. More or less the same thing. Not so much, but so many separations, so many degrees of separation, if you will. I don't even know what I'm saying. The point is you see it. You see that working lady who's got a wife beater on, one of the loops hanging over her shoulder, the other one kind of hanging down with a semi-loose tit, with a semi-deflated loose tit. Something, hair is a little bit just, frazzled. She's got, the skirt is barely a skirt. The boots are hanging in there. And again, no judgment. There's something about that. There's something about just casts and characters of individuals. It's a beautiful imagery in a sense. It's bittersweet, I'll say that. And then amongst that same population, you'll see another type of peoples. Again, I say this with no judgment, because again, we could have all, walk in a man's pair of underwear if you can, and then say, what's up. Or the saying, steal a man's shoes and try them on for a fit. What do they say about shoes? High heels. How do women do it? No. Something about walking. The point is, you see the crackheads too early in the morning. You see the crackheads. That's, again, no judgment. No judgment. My heart goes out, and I don't have any solutions to either of these scenarios or these types of lives. But there's, you see the crackheads, and there's levels. So even everything has levels. I saw this crackhead just the other day on the street, early in the morning. Oh. And it just, I don't know what to do with it. Because, he's coming in and out of traffic, just stumbling and just falling and picking himself up. And then I know he was shirtless, pants on, shirtless. And what caught my attention, because I'll see crackheads all around the city, beautiful people. Who knows their backstory? Who knows what they've all gone through? No judgment, just saying, crackhead, beautiful crackhead. Shirtless, and I looked at his tum-tum, his stomach. He had a punctured tum-tum. Ladies and gentlemen, he had a punctured tum-tum. It was, I don't know what had happened to him. He was just weaving in and out of traffic, trying to make his way across the street. And I just saw this man with because shirtless, loose pants, ripped pants, you'll see. Shoes that are mismatched, you'll see that shit. A man that's not shaved for how many years you've seen it, but there was a hole in his stomach, and part of his, I don't know, maybe I was 10, 20 feet away from him. That's what I got eyes on him. I'm look, I'm trying to make it out. I don't know what it would make. I think it was a part of his, no doctor, and thank you. I'm not going to accept that just because you think there's no doctor here, all right? Appreciate that, thank you. Yes. Have I gotten a few degrees from overseas that are questionable? Maybe, maybe not. If I want to practice, could I? Probably. Don't put a limit on yourself. What even is a degree? The point is, no doctor here. Part of his stomach, I think it was his intestine, was just hanging out. I'm God, what do you even do with that at that point? What do you do? Because, what can you do? At that point, that is a lot. That's right there. That's right there. Your heart goes out. You're like, oh, there's nothing you could do to help this person. Not even a bit of change. Not even a little bit of a, sometimes if you have change, you might give change. Sometimes if you have food or they want food, maybe you can buy food. I don't have a solution for it. It's a difficult, complicated. There's a lot of things, a lot of factors that go into it. But one thing that was standing out was his intestine. I saw it, and because I couldn't do anything. There's only one thought that came into my head, and I wanted to and it kind of made me want to throw up at the same, because you see this, what is this? His intestines are, I think, poking out of his, I want to just poke it back in, just poke it back in, man. His stomach lining is out, poke it back in. But he's at that stage, and I saw that, I couldn't do anything, but I wanted to poke it. I felt like sharing that with you. So you see different things at different times during the day, which is nice to be a human living on this planet, because it's beautiful. It's got so many, there's butterflies, sunshines, and there's also random casts and characters in this life that we share. It's some of them with stomachs hanging out their belly, their tum-tums. Put your stomach in your tum-tum. Oh, I didn't know what to do with it, and here we are. That's neither here or there, ladies and gents, but I did want to just put that out there. The imagery, the loose tit in the morning, never forget it. You can tell it needs rest. Just a side tit, just kind of like deflated from life. Poor titty. What are we even talking about? The point is, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what the point is. The point is, here we are. There was I believe a gay couple, a beautiful gay couple, a couple of old beautiful fags in the UK just got murdered by this porn actor star that they hired to do activities with them. This guy murdered them, and obviously people pass away in different ways on a regular basis, but what struck out about this story is that this porn actor, made a video of himself dancing naked after he had chopped up the bodies and tried to get rid of them, or he did get rid of them. He put them in, who does that? That's crazy shit. Killing is of course crazy, but making the video of yourself after singing and dancing in the nude, especially in the UK, because everything is on camera. I don't even get why people why would you even try to do crime in the UK unless it's high level crime, white collar crime. Yes, it makes sense, but otherwise, if you're low level criming in the UK, just make notes. There's so many cameras everywhere, and that's going to be the future of everywhere. Cameras all up in our rectum 24/7. But and he made a video of himself dancing in the nude after he chopped the individuals up, which sucks. But to say he pushed it to that thing that struck out was how far he went in terms of just completely removed from the sitch. Typically when people you hear about these murders, or they go and hide, this guy got on live feed or whatever, he streamed himself, I think, dancing in the nude, but still, covered in blood and shit, I think. Maybe semi-erect, who knows? That is up there in terms of, the level of, the only thing that was left for him to do that he didn't do was ejac at the same time while on camera and maybe defecated. Those are the only two, because he pushed it. That's, there's again levels to everything. Again, this guy murdered two people, chopped them up, danced naked, recorded it, put it online. And I'm like, how much more can you push this thing? And the only things that came to mind was jizzing and, taking a shit at the same time too. That would have he almost, if there's, rings to be collected in that quest, he collected almost all of them. There's maybe potentially 2 more he could have gotten, but horrible, terrible thing. But, I don't even know why it struck out. The dancing and the nude, it just struck out, ladies and gentlemen. So the takeaway from this is a sad story, but takeaway is, if you are, a single person or even a couple, you want to get your freak on. And this is what I mean about prostitution too needs to be probably legalized, because who knows who you're getting? Who knows who's coming over? Who knows, there should be, I'm not saying it's because it brings up a debate in terms of there's a pros and cons of, putting stars and ratings on everything. Because at the end of the day, sometimes the customer is right, sometimes the customer isn't right. You've always had that scenario, and you've been on either end yourself. If you're a grown up, you've probably been, giving out a service or acquiring a service at one point. So it's just, do we want to live in a society where everything is, rated, reported, reviewed? Of course, maybe there's some, safety with that, but at the same rate, there's some parts where it's like, hey man, can individuals sort it out without having that, eye in the sky, always watching every move, every little action, every little interaction, every little exchange that takes place? Who knows? What are we even talking about? The point is, get yourself, if you're gonna get a prostitute or a porn actor, get one that's kind of like, find a resume, get somebody who's been, preferred, or for safety reasons. I wouldn't, don't have people stay with you to like act, porn actors, like prostitutes. They're great people. They're people too. Love them. But don't have them just stay at your place for days on end, and because you don't know these people, and it's typically people who are not doing well socioeconomically, so they've had to resort to certain things. I'm not saying all of them. There's probably really good ones. There's probably beautiful souls in there that want to just get a couple of bucks and hopefully make a change in their life if they can. But there's some people who are just completely out of their mind, and they might just chop you up and dance nude after. So and because it's illegal rather, you can't you can't be like, oh, this guy's got like 4.75 stars, he's a really he's got a good cock on him and he's reliable and nice too. It's not going to rob you after. That's what I've been talking about. I don't know. It's just an interesting story. Again, not happy about the outcome, but just maybe PSA time, like, hire somebody for a little bit of time and then say goodbye. Try somebody else, different. Don't keep people at your house that you don't know. God. Ladies and gents. What else is going on in and around this beautiful planet, the old blue marble? There was a flight that was going out of Kuala Lumpur to China. You might have seen this video. You might have heard about this story. A beautiful flight was mid-air, mid-flight, and all of a sudden, a couple of hens started chatting, as hens do, just chatting away, chit-chatting. And somebody said, hey, the lights have been dimmed in this airplane. Could you keep it down? I believe I wasn't there. I'm not sure what happened. But what happened after, somebody said, hey, can you keep it down? The lights have dimmed. The flight has taken off, and we were mid-air. A brawl broke out between females, I think. Some females just got, mostly females. That's what I heard. That's what I read. And there's a video of it. A couple of bitches, a couple of them hoes just up in the flight, throwing fists, yelling, screaming. That's crazy, because with all the news regarding flights and everything, it's already become a precarious venture. So if you're going to get on a plane, man, everybody just said this before, we should just put people under. If you're getting on a plane, we should put people under and then, revive them after they come back and land. You need people to be out. You need people to be quiet on the plane. Put your headphone on. Be silent. But who knows what caused this? Some people speculate out there, the streets are wild, the internet is probably even wilder. Some people say that this is what happens when you give women rights. Some people say that. Some people say, yeah, you get them to vote 1 minute, next thing you know, they're fighting on a plane. Some people say that, that's crazy. Others say this is what happens when you let women fly. And that's also, like, people are wild. So I don't know what caused this. Females, when they do get together, they do talk. Not that men talk too probably, but if I were to say who talks more, it's probably females. Probably most likely females. A lot of women chat. Women love chatting. God, women love chatting. I love women who chat too. But in this specific place, should we ban women from flight? Should we ban? No, I'm not going to say we should ban women from flight. Should they have, waited till they got down and then started chopping that karate? Maybe, because that's the thing. You're on a plane, man. Fighting on a plane, that just makes me, how do you deal with that shit? There should be increase the number of, flight rangers, plane rangers. What do you call them? Flight police. I like rangers better. Aviator glasses, hairy chest, guns on his arms, and in his holster too. Tase people, immediately tase you. If anybody's acting a fool, man, immediately tase them. They should be, 10 to 20, just however many guards or, rangers, air rangers, the air ranger. He brought peace back to air. Air Ranger 5, he's been doing this for a long time. He's sick and tired of it, but he'll keep doing it. He likes to take a break and smoke on the plane. And when everybody's asleep, he'll drink his scotch dry or neat. He likes his whiskey dry. His whiskey is so dry. It's not even a thing. Who knows? Air Ranger 7. He's been putting people to sleep. Shh, right there. Little triangle chalk. Shh. Go back to sleep. Right there. Oh, it'd be nice. Yeah, there should be a lot more Air Rangers on flights. Some people, you might even like to have a little drinky poo and then fall asleep. Some people don't like to drink, but they do like to fall asleep but have a difficult time sleeping. Oh, you get a couple of just, MMA fighters on that plane. Just choking people out. Wake me up. Just wake me up when we land. Yeah, I don't know what to do about these them bitches. I don't know what the problem is. I'm hoping it's resolved. I'm hoping this type of behavior does not, escalate and people see it and want to mimic it. When you're on the plane, chill, relax. God. What have we been talking about? I believe scientists and researchers are coming out there and saying that we need to invest in science and research because bacteria is becoming resistant to antibiotics, which is an issue. I don't know what's causing this. I hear this, I'm like, oh, science needs more funding for virus research and bacteria research. I'm a little bit, skeptical, but at the same rate, of course, I'm like, yes, I do see the point of investing in research and science and vaccines and whatnot, but like the good ones. It's the good ones. Gotta be careful of this shit. I don't know how they're becoming antibiotic. They're like, resistant to antibiotic. They're saying they call them superbugs. I don't know how are they because there are like what's causing superbugs to become superbugs? Because they're like they're regular bugs now. Today they're regular bugs. Is it just because we've over some period, I don't know how many decades it's been, we've been consuming collectively antibiotics, so they're becoming, is that why? Or are they like working out and is there like a bug? Is there like a Gold's Gym for bugs and viruses and bacteria? A secret little gym? It does make sense, because just because they're tiny and we don't see them, it's not like it could happen. You never know. You got good bacteria, you got bad bacteria. You've heard that phrase before. You got enzymes, you got good enzymes and bad enzymes. I don't know about bad enzymes, but you got enzymes. You know what they do, and you know what they say about enzymes. Enzymes are just like the coal miners of your body with little pickaxes in your stomach lining, picking away, but instead of searching for gold, they're trying to chip away at your food and create doo-doo, shit. They love shit. That's enzymes for you. But bacteria, that's a whole other thing. What are these guys doing? You got the enzymes working in the coal mine inside your body. Bacteria are just like, oh, let me get in there and let me fuck shit up. That's what bacteria is. So what are they doing? And I don't know what they're doing, but if you do see bacteria like working out, if they're tanning, if they're like, injecting themselves with TRT or peptides or whatever else, if they're grabbing like a wild bull and just drinking semen raw out the cock of the bull to get stronger, and then they're doing bench presses, call a number. I don't know what the number is, but call a number nonetheless. Start whatever feels right inside you, dial that number and talk to somebody and let them know, hey man, I saw this bacteria working out. I think it's got ideas of one day becoming a superbug to the rescue. What is that tiny little thing lifting a car? It's superbug. Is it going to be in the Marvel movies? Who knows? The point is, I don't like it. And I think it ends with us, or it's probably starting with us. The point is, I don't know why they're becoming super, to be honest with you. Is it a positive thing, by the way? Because if you say super bugs, it kind of low-key does make it sound like, oh man, these bugs are fucking great. Instead of these regular bugs who are like a menace to society, these bugs are taking care of business, kicking ass, taking names, feeding the hungry, putting clothes on the backs of the clothless, the nude, if you will, feeding the hungry, building houses, putting clothes back on the back of the nudes, feeding the hungry, rescuing cats, stealing cats, but then rescuing them, getting the reward, putting that money towards a charity, stealing from the charity, but then creating even a bigger charity, which, You got to break a couple of charities to, make bank and then create an even larger charity. That's how a Ponzi scheme works. Who knows? The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that the bugs it's a thing. Because then at the same rate, I do hear about this flesh-eating bacteria that just took off in Florida. Beautiful Floridians swimming and God knows where. But then, oh snap, right there, flesh-eating bacteria on your chakras, dude, just eating away at your soul. What is it doing? I don't know. Why is it eating flesh? You heard of the ones that were roaming around the cows a little bit further south and now just in the body of water? Is this the next thing, or am I just like, is it a little bit of something to talk about, or is it going to be the next thing? Flesh-eating bacteria, get inside. Get outside. You need some sunlight. The point is, let's rewire them. Let's get there with the genetic engineering and modifying of these bugs if we could, because there's pros and cons. Yes, it's eating people, it's evolved, but also could some people use getting a little bit eaten out? Probably. I'm talking about the fatties out there. Love y'all, but if you're on that Ozempic, and I'm happy for you, it's something, I get it. It doesn't come, there's no perfect pill without any sort of, downsides. There's pros and cons, and I'm sure we'll probably find out about the cons as more time goes on and people use it. The benefits of it, of course, is you shrivel up like a little prune, and I like that. But I'm thinking if we get these super bugs that are flesh-eating, if there's fatties out there, we could just redirect the little super bugs to go on the fatties and eat the fat away. Think about that. No pills, no exercise. I think low-key we just invented the remedy to fatness and obesity. Patent it, building it, glad you made it right here. Super bugs, reducing your fat gut, you pig, you beautiful pig. There is a human that's very attractive underneath, probably like 100, 150 pounds underneath whatever you're working with right now. But if you teach these little bugs to just eat the fat, carve the people to our liking, and then take them out, and then remove the bugs, remove it so they can eat the fat. And that way you forget about the loose skin, because with Ozempic, you get the old Zempic, you got that loose skin, man. Now you're working with a squirrel suit. Now you're like, I gotta pick up a new hobby, jumping from tall buildings, and you're not prepped, man. You're gonna die. You don't want to die. Don't do that. Get the superbug. Get the new superbug that's eating flesh. Try it out today. Free flesh-eating bacteria. Try it out today. Don't say we didn't tell you so. Ladies and gents. Tired of only having to decide between sumo wrestlers and ninjas for your protection and your security services? I get it. We've all been there. You're like, which guy do I take with me? The super heavyweight sumo wrestler or my nimble friend ninja who's gonna kick ass, and he probably weighs 125, but doesn't matter. He's compact. I could put him in a backpack, strap him to my back, and just unleash hell when need be. But what if I told you you have the option of taking both with you? Introducing the sumo ninja. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the sumo ninja. They've created an actual little strap, like a baby strap, like how babies get strapped to their father's chests, or sometimes mothers too. And you can carry your baby around. I thought about it because I'm like, sumo wrestlers are heavy set, they're strong, they've got that base. They've got that low center of gravity. Low center of gravity, baby. LCG, you know what I'm talking about. So they can strap these nimble ninjas to their chest, and you can walk around with this new security apparatus around you and feel secure, because you don't have to decide if shit breaks out. You need somebody to kind of like be the enforcer, be the, oh, I'm the heavy set guy, you're not gonna get past me, right here, right there, where am I? Still right here, because the movement's a little bit of a difficult endeavor, but nonetheless, then you got the agile ninja who will unstrap himself and just fucking run amok. Just roundhouse kick, ninja star. Sweep the legs. And that's how you get the benefit of sumo ninja together. Whereas all this time before, we've only utilized them independently, and it saddens me, but also it was a little bit of, how could we provide a service or a solution to a possible large global problem, and that is security. And that's why we decided to build the sumo ninjas. Get one today, ladies and gents. Oftentimes people are asking themselves, I've got a dog. I've got a dog, and it's a beautiful pet, and one of the reasons that I got this dog pet was to go out there and pick up the old puss, pick up the old cack. But my dog is not getting me the puss that I want. It's not getting me the vitamin D that I need in my life. And how could I remedy this? I'm here to tell you that you've already made the most important decision, and that is to get a dog. You're like, but why isn't the puss just, popping through the door? Why am I not getting enough D? Bought a dog, it's not getting me any D. I get it, you're there. I'm here to help. What people love about dog owners, pet owners, is the fact that they show their pets love and they take care of them. That act of love and care indicates to others that you are a loving, caring individual. So next time you're out with your dog, all right, whether you're male or female, whoever you're trying to pick up, once the dog starts to urinate, quickly get down on your knees and start sipping the dog urine in your mouth. Little sips, little tiny sips. Sip, 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 sip. Drink it, gargle it, either spit it out or swallow it. And that action, in and of itself, is sending out a signal. No, you don't have to go and talk to Lucy over there. Lucy will see you on your knees sipping that dog urine, and she'll say, "Now that's a keeper. Now that's a man I want in my life." So you got the dog. It's just knowing what to do with it that comes. It's a little, there's no books for this shit. All right, fine. There's plenty of books for this shit, but I bet nobody mentions this little trick. Drink the piss, get the puss. You're like, what if it's taking a little shit? What if the dog is taking a shit? Lady, you want that D or not? I'm here to tell you that if your dog starts taking a crap, logic, history of human and dog relations tells you to grab a doggy bag, grab a little garbage bag, put it over your hand like a glove, and then cup the shit and then dispose of it properly in a garbage bin. That's trad dog relations. If you really want to pick up somebody, show them that you're that person that they can count on. As soon as the dog starts shitting, collect the poop in your hand and be like, "I love my dog's shit," and start smearing it all over your chest, all over you want that dick, right? Here, follow me here. You start rubbing that shit all over your titties, all over your face. Eat a little bit of it. I love my dog. Feed it the best food. Only natural organic food for my dog. Eat it all up. Next thing you know, guys just fighting, brawling with each other, trying to get in your pants. You're welcome. Of course, again, these are not things that are mentioned out there, but this is, I don't know what you want to call it, street knowledge, a little bit of the old, oral traditions, maybe, perhaps. Nonetheless, I want you to use it to your benefit to find yourself a lover. It's never too late. And if you got a pet dog, you just got 2 new ways of picking up dick and puss. You're welcome out there. There's, of course, a lot of things that are concerning all of us these days. You're like, how, Rob? How do I go ahead and reduce the plastic on this earth? How do I reduce the plastic? Rob, just tell me, please. I want to reduce the plastic. What am I doing with this plastic, Rob? Just please tell me. Relax. I'm here to tell you that there's ways to deal with the reduction of plastic. Want to get rid of plastic bottles? I hear you. I'm there with you. That's why I mentioned the enema drinks. That's right, enema drinks. Instead of carrying a dumb bottle with you that's made of plastic with your favorite beverage, try putting your favorite beverage up someone's ass and walk with them, carry that person around with you anywhere. And whenever you do get thirsty, simply bend them over and start drinking the enema that you've already put inside their asshole. I'm talking milk, or in some parts of the country, I believe it's pronounced milk. Either or, depending on your preference, you can put milk or milk in someone's rectum. And next thing you know, you're like, oh man, I've cut the usage of my plastic bottles almost by 75%. Thank you, man. But like, low-key, is there anything else I could put inside it? I'm here to tell you, little, trade secret right here, just between us. You can put any drink up a rectum. I'm talking coffee. All right, I know a lot of coffee fiends out there, myself included, tired of plastic cups, and you're like, what about a little cleanse? Can I get a little bit of cranberry juice? If I want to sip on a little bit of that cranberry, of course, you could put the cranberry up somebody's ass, and instead of having to take a stupid bottle with you, which could be very, just like, you already got your phone, you already got your wallet, you already got your purse, you already got your dog, you already got your baby. So there's so many things to carry. Now you want to add a water bottle to that, and a plastic one for that matter. No, thank you. Simply get an individual and fill up the rectum with the liquid of your preference. And at any time during the day, you can have a sippy poo and walk away with knowing, deep down inside, like, one, I have reduced my footprint. My CO2 is lessened by this person. Gases still out there, but nonetheless reduced. You're like, what about alcoholic beverages? As long as they're your person, you can put, and I'm telling you, any beverage. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so please remember that if you are trying to cut back on your plastic bottle usage, start using enema sips, saving the environment and helping relationships get tighter. Until next time, peace out.